Dealing with toxic individuals can be exhausting, draining, and confusing. These individuals often manipulate your emotions, control your thoughts, and erode your confidence, leaving you feeling trapped and uncertain. But you don't have to stay stuck in these cycles. You have the power to outsmart toxic men by understanding their tactics and, more importantly, by cultivating the strength to protect yourself. In this speech, we'll explore 9 clever ways to take back control, maintain your boundaries, and ensure your well-being so that you can move forward with confidence and clarity. This isn't about reacting impulsively or getting caught up in conflict. It's about developing the tools you need to navigate any toxic situation with resilience, clarity, and grace. 1. Recognize the signs. The first step to outsmarting any toxic man is to develop the ability to recognize the early signs of toxicity. Toxic behavior often doesn't present itself in obvious, immediate ways. It can start subtly, appearing as harmless compliments, seemingly innocent jokes, or seemingly minor disagreements that quickly escalate. Manipulation is often a key hallmark of toxic men, whether it's through guilt tripping, using fear, or gaslighting to control your thoughts and emotions. Initially, these behaviors might seem harmless, but they are designed to make you question your judgment and self-worth. Pay attention to patterns. How he communicates, how he responds to your needs, and how he handles disagreement. Toxic individuals may dismiss your feelings, minimize your concerns, or twist the narrative to paint themselves as the victim. They often employ emotional blackmail, using threats or silent treatments to manipulate your choices. Early manipulation might seem subtle, but it creates a foothold that, over time, can become more invasive. Watch for signs of control. A toxic man might attempt to isolate you from friends and family, undermining your support system, or try to dictate what you should wear, say, or do. He might subtly undermine your autonomy by making decisions on your behalf or diminishing your accomplishments. These behaviors, though small at first, serve as red flags that your space, your emotional and psychological boundaries is being encroached upon. By cultivating self-awareness, you'll start to recognize these behaviors before they spiral into something more damaging. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it often is. Developing the skill to discern between someone who truly cares for you and someone who is driven by selfish desires or manipulative tendencies can save you from unnecessary heartache. Recognizing these signs early allows you to set healthy expectations, maintain your independence, and protect yourself from emotional harm before it takes root. 2. Cultivate self-awareness. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools you can develop when dealing with toxic individuals. It allows you to understand your own thoughts, emotions, reactions, and triggers, giving you greater clarity and control over your responses. When you are self-aware, you can step back from situations and observe what is happening around you with a clear and objective mindset. Toxic people often prey on those who lack self-awareness, those who are easily manipulated by their emotions or who react impulsively. When you are unaware of your own boundaries, values, and emotional responses, you risk falling into cycles of manipulation and emotional dependency. Toxic men thrive in situations where they can exploit this lack of understanding, using guilt, blame, or emotional overwhelm to keep you off balance. By cultivating self-awareness, you gain the ability to recognize your own emotional patterns. You can identify what triggers certain responses, whether it's fear of abandonment, anxiety, or low self-esteem. Once you understand these patterns, you can begin to manage your reactions more effectively. Self-awareness helps you respond to difficult situations rather than react out of emotion. This, in turn, strengthens your confidence and prevents you from being easily swayed by someone else's agenda. Self-awareness encourages you to reflect on your own values, goals, and what truly matters to you. You begin to clarify what you need in a healthy relationship, whether it's respect, emotional support, trust, or independence, and stay true to these standards. It allows you to navigate situations with intentionality rather than getting caught up in someone else's game. With self-awareness, you can recognize when someone's actions don't align with your values, and you'll be better equipped to make decisions that protect your well-being. It creates a buffer between you and the manipulations of toxic individuals, giving you the insight needed to disengage from harmful dynamics before they take hold. 3. Maintain boundaries. Boundaries are essential when dealing with toxic people, as they define what you will and will not tolerate in your life. A toxic man often seeks to blur or cross your boundaries to gain control, and if you aren't clear about what you expect and enforce, it's easy for him to manipulate you. Boundaries are not meant to push others away. They serve as guidelines for healthy interactions, ensuring that your emotional, physical, and mental space is respected. The first step in maintaining boundaries is recognizing your own limits. What makes you uncomfortable, what you value, and what you refuse to compromise on. Toxic individuals will test these limits repeatedly to see how far they can push you. They might use charm, guilt, or subtle coercion to break through your defenses, often hiding their manipulative intentions beneath a facade of care or concern. When you set boundaries, you are communicating clearly what is acceptable and what is not. It's important to be firm yet respectful. You don't need to be aggressive or confrontational. Rather, you must be consistent and unwavering in your decisions. For instance, if someone frequently interrupts you, disregards your opinions, or belittles your emotions, you must communicate that this behavior is unacceptable and follow through by removing yourself from conversations or situations that continue to violate your space. Boundaries also extend beyond just what you say or do. They include how you expect to be treated. It's about creating a sense of emotional safety and preventing others from taking advantage of your generosity or kindness. Toxic men often want to control not just your actions, but your energy, making you feel drained, anxious, or manipulated. By keeping your boundaries firm, you safeguard your peace and maintain a sense of control over your life. Healthy boundaries allow you to preserve your self-respect and dignity, while toxic people will see them as obstacles to their manipulation. Don't allow others to guilt you into compromising your needs. Instead, reinforce your limits calmly and confidently. Over time, by staying consistent, you'll teach others how to treat you and prevent toxic individuals from crossing the line into controlling behavior. 4. Strengthen your emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult situations, maintain stability in the face of adversity, and withstand emotional manipulation without losing control. When dealing with toxic men, emotional resilience acts as your armor, helping you stay grounded, focused, and strong, even when faced with their attempts to destabilize you. Toxic individuals often target your emotions, seeking to wear you down through criticism, guilt, or constant demands. If you lack emotional resilience, you may find yourself falling into cycles of self-doubt, overwhelm, and anxiety. To build emotional resilience, you must first understand that emotions are temporary and can be managed. Toxic people want to create emotional chaos, making you feel insecure, anxious, or even powerless. They might aim to destabilize your peace by pushing your buttons, whether it's through gaslighting, emotional withdrawal, or creating conflict. But by strengthening your emotional resilience, you can learn to respond to these triggers in a way that keeps you steady. Self-care is a crucial component of emotional resilience. When you prioritize your well-being, getting adequate rest, nourishing your body, engaging in activities you love, you build the foundation to withstand stress. Regularly engaging in practices like meditation, journaling, or physical exercise can help you process emotions healthily and develop inner strength. Additionally, cultivating a growth mindset allows you to view setbacks as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than as failures that define you. Emotional resilience also involves cultivating a support network. It's important to have people you can lean on during tough times, whether it's close friends, family, or a therapist. Healthy relationships reinforce your emotional stability, offering comfort and encouragement, while toxic people aim to isolate you and make you feel alone in your struggles. When you have strong emotional resilience, you are less susceptible to the negative energy of others, and you are more capable of setting boundaries without wavering. By building your emotional resilience, you create a shield that helps you maintain control over your emotions, even when dealing with challenging situations. Toxic men thrive on your emotional instability, but when you cultivate resilience, you develop the ability to stay focused, confident, and calm, regardless of their efforts to undermine you. 5. Challenge toxic narratives. Toxic men often use manipulative tactics to create and reinforce distorted narratives, false stories, designed to control how you perceive reality, yourself, and your relationship. These narratives might involve twisting your words, exaggerating your mistakes, or blaming you for situations that aren't entirely your fault. They rely on these stories to make you question your own experiences, thoughts, and decisions. Over time, these manipulations can erode your self-confidence and distort your sense of reality, leading you to doubt your instincts and emotional responses. The first step in challenging toxic narratives is to recognize them for what they are: fabrications meant to serve someone else's agenda. Pay attention to how you feel after engaging with this person. Do you walk away feeling confused, guilty, or overwhelmed? Toxic men often use gaslighting, where they deny your truth or manipulate events to make you question your memory and perception of reality. They might tell you that your experiences or feelings aren't valid, framing themselves as the victim or the one who is just trying to help. Once you identify these patterns, the next step is to seek clarity and truth. Challenge the narrative by questioning inconsistencies and verifying facts. If he claims something happened that doesn't align with your memory, don't immediately dismiss it. Take time to reflect, gather evidence, or even ask trusted friends. Stand firm in your ability to discern between what is real and what is being twisted for control. You have the power to reclaim your perception of events, especially when you refuse to be swayed by false stories. Use assertive communication to confront these narratives directly, rather than getting caught up in endless arguments. Express your truth calmly and confidently. Say things like, that's not how I remember it, or I don't agree with that perspective. Avoid allowing yourself to be dragged into circular arguments where he shifts blame or rewrites reality. Challenging toxic narratives is about refusing to be manipulated by false stories and instead asserting your own understanding of what is real. When you recognize these tactics, you gain the strength to stand firm and hold on to your own truth, preventing others from distorting your perception and keeping you trapped in confusion. 6. Avoid engaging in power struggles. One of the most effective ways to outsmart a toxic man is to avoid getting drawn into unnecessary power struggles. Toxic individuals thrive on conflict, using it as a tool to manipulate and assert control over others. They often create situations where you feel the need to compete or prove your worth, whether it's through constant challenges, attempts to outsmart you, or engaging in power struggles, however, only fuels their control and allows them to dictate the dynamic of your interaction. Power struggles are often designed to drain your energy and distract you from your own priorities. Toxic men may provoke arguments, create confusion, or refuse to accept compromise, simply to assert dominance over the situation. They use conflict to create chaos, making you feel as though you constantly have to defend yourself or prove your value. However, once you recognize that power struggles are a trap, you can step back and refuse to play into their game. The key to avoiding power struggles is to focus on what matters to you, not what matters to him. By doing so, you maintain control over your energy and prevent unnecessary distractions. You don't need to engage in debates where the only outcome is more conflict. Instead, choose to disengage from situations where the goal is to control or manipulate you. Stay calm and collected in the face of provocation. Learn to control your own reactions rather than reacting emotionally to his attempts to bait you. This doesn't mean you must remain passive. Rather, you should assertively communicate your boundaries and calmly walk away from conflicts that serve no purpose other than to create tension. By refusing to engage, you take away his power and maintain your own dignity, and redirect your focus toward productive conversations, ones that don't center on winning, but rather on clear, respectful communication. Toxic individuals want to draw you into power struggles because it keeps you emotionally entangled. But when you refuse to play into their hands, you maintain your peace and refuse to be manipulated. 7. Develop assertive communication. Assertive communication is one of the most powerful tools to protect yourself from toxic individuals. It allows you to express your needs, opinions, and boundaries in a clear, confident, and respectful way, without coming across as aggressive or passive. Toxic men often seek to dominate conversations, twisting your words, interrupting, or using subtle forms of manipulation to steer the dialogue in their favor. When you adopt assertive communication, you take control of your interactions and ensure that your voice is heard without compromise. Assertiveness starts with being clear about what you want to say, whether it's expressing discomfort, setting limits, or offering constructive feedback. It's not about being confrontational, but about communicating with confidence and calmness. Toxic people often use passive-aggressive tactics, hinting, implying, or guilt-tripping to avoid direct confrontation. They may speak in vague terms, leaving you confused or uncertain, which makes it harder to stand your ground. Assertive communication helps you maintain composure in challenging situations. It's about speaking from a place of strength, using I statements to express how you feel and what you need. For example, rather than passively hinting at your dissatisfaction, you might say, I feel uncomfortable when you speak to me this way, and I'd appreciate it if we could discuss this more respectfully. By being direct, you take away his ability to twist your words or dismiss your concerns. Another important aspect of assertive communication is listening. It's equally important to hear what the other person is saying without allowing their words to manipulate you. Toxic individuals often use distracting language or try to derail conversations, making you feel unheard or confused. Assertiveness means remaining engaged, listening actively, and responding with clarity, without letting their attempts to control the conversation derail your focus. Assertive communication is about maintaining your self-respect and ensuring that your voice matters. It prevents you from being silenced or taken advantage of, while also empowering you to have conversations that are productive and respectful, rather than confrontational or draining. By developing this skill, you gain the confidence to stand up for yourself and avoid being manipulated by others. 8. Surround yourself with supportive people. One of the most effective ways to protect yourself from toxic individuals is by surrounding yourself with supportive, uplifting people who encourage your growth and well-being. Toxic men often seek to isolate you from those who can offer genuine emotional support, as they understand that having strong relationships, when you have a solid support system, you're better equipped to recognize manipulative behavior, maintain your boundaries, and stay emotionally grounded. Supportive people, whether they're friends, family members, or colleagues, serve as a safety net. They listen to you, offer guidance, and provide encouragement when you feel overwhelmed or uncertain. These are the people who celebrate your achievements, remind you of your strengths, and help you maintain perspective when dealing with difficult situations. Unlike toxic individuals, they don't seek to control you or drain your energy. Instead, they lift you up and hold you accountable to your best self. When you have a network of people who care about your well-being, you gain emotional resilience. They can offer advice, validate your feelings, and challenge toxic narratives without falling into the same traps that you might experience when interacting with a manipulative person. Supportive individuals help you see the truth in difficult moments and provide the perspective needed to make wise decisions. They remind you that you're not alone and that you deserve relationships where your needs are respected and valued. Toxic men often try to manipulate relationships by creating division, whether through gossip, false accusations, or attempts to create conflict between you and others. They may attempt to control you by making you feel like your friends or family don't have your best interests at heart. When you have a strong support system, you're less likely to fall for these tactics because you have trusted people who can confirm your experiences and provide you with clarity. Surrounding yourself with supportive people isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity for maintaining your emotional well-being and protecting yourself from toxic influence. Cultivate relationships that empower you, where trust, encouragement, and mutual respect are central. These healthy connections not only strengthen your resolve, but remind you that you don't have to navigate life's challenges alone. 9. Practice self-liberation. Self-liberation is the process of breaking free from the control and manipulation of toxic individuals by reclaiming your own agency, worth, and freedom. Toxic men often seek to limit your autonomy, whether through emotional manipulation, coercion, or making you feel dependent on them for validation. They use tactics like guilt, fear, or isolation to keep you tethered to their influence. But true self-liberation comes when you recognize your own power and take the steps necessary to free yourself from these unhealthy dynamics. Practicing self-liberation begins by recognizing that you have the right to make your own choices, to set your own goals, and to live in alignment with your values, without seeking permission or approval from others. It means rejecting the idea that your worth is defined by someone else's opinion, and instead embracing the truth that your value comes from within you. Toxic men often try to make you feel dependent on their approval, manipulating your self-worth through conditional love or constant validation. Liberating yourself starts with reclaiming your emotional strength. You have the power to decide what's best for you, what relationships are healthy, what activities bring you joy, and what boundaries you need to set. No one else can dictate your happiness or your sense of self-worth unless you give them that power. Self-liberation involves recognizing your own agency, your ability to take control of your life, and making choices that serve your well-being. This doesn't mean doing everything alone. Liberation also comes through seeking support when necessary and leaning on healthy relationships that respect your independence. It's about letting go of any fear that you need to rely on someone else to feel safe or loved. Instead, you build a life where you rely on your own strength, wisdom, and decision-making. Now, toxic men will often resist your efforts to liberate yourself because they want to maintain control over you. But practicing self-liberation means choosing to live authentically, making decisions that prioritize your peace and well-being, and trusting in your own ability to navigate life. It's about embracing the freedom to be who you truly are, without compromise or manipulation, knowing that you are worthy and capable, no matter what others may try to convince you otherwise.